Imagine this. You step into a bustling ballroom in Victorian Vienna. You can almost smell the pine, the mulled spices, hear the champagne glasses clinking.
And the waltz music swirling.
Exactly. But then you realize that just beneath that glittering surface, there's this chilling web of secrets, assassinations, betrayals, all spinning totally out of control.
That's a perfect picture of the world we're diving into today. We're using A Fatal Waltz as our main source material here.
Right.
And our goal isn't just to retell the story. We want to really unpack its complex plot, look closely at the characters and how their lives intertwine.
And pull out those insights, yeah, about power, love, loyalty, especially in that era, a world really on the cusp of big changes.
Precisely. You'll see how this murder in England, which seems isolated at first, just unravels. It becomes this huge continent-spanning conspiracy.
Full of personal vendettas, political plots, and some surprising acts of courage, too.
Yeah, it's not just a story. It's this meticulously crafted world.
Yeah.
Every little detail, every whispered conversation, it all becomes a piece of a much larger puzzle.
So think of us as your guides through this intricate landscape. We'll help connect the dots so you see not just what happens, but crucially, why it all matters.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. We're in Victorian England, which feels quite rigid, almost opulent.
Indeed. And our main guide through all this is Emily, Lady Ashton. She's presented as a scholar, quite independent in spirit.
We meet her at Beaumont Towers. A grand estate, sure, but it feels uncomfortable, doesn't it? There's a shooting party going on, society gathered.
Yeah, that formality really sets a specific tone right away.
And the key players quickly enter the scene. There's Colin Hargreaves.
Emily's love interest, sort of.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
It's budding, but it's already complicated. He does discreet work for the palace, and then there's his past with Countess Christiana Bonlange.
Right. And we also meet Ivy and Robert Brandon, Emily's childhood friends. Robert's pegged as this up-and-coming politician.
Which immediately puts him in a precarious position, especially given the central antagonist, Lord Fortescue.
Fortescue. Described as traditional, another politician, but known for vitriol, and blackmail.
Definitely. A complex guy, too, with his longtime mistress, Mrs. Reynolds Plimpton, and his third wife, Mary. The hypocrisy is palpable.
And that tension at Beaumont Towers, you feel it right from the start. It's almost suffocating.
It really is. And the spark that lights the fuse, it's Fortescue publicly humiliating Robert Brandon, threatening him.
Which tells you a lot about Fortescue's methods and Robert's vulnerability.
Exactly. We learn some important political papers are missing, which immediately casts suspicion on Robert.
And Emily gets drawn in, initially trying to do something seemingly simple for this thing. Mr. Harrison retrieves some papers from Fortescue.
But then her bracelet is found in Fortescue's room, clearly planted.
Yeah, that's when you know it's turned sinister.
And then, inevitably, the tension breaks. Lord Fortescue is found murdered.
Chaos ensues, I imagine.
Pretty much. Robert Brandon immediately becomes the prime suspect. Treason charges are floated because of those missing papers.
And his alibi. Wasn't it something discreet?
Yeah, with Ivy's maid, not something easily confirmed, Very problematic for him.
And just as things get really intense, Colin Hargreaves gets called away. Urgent business in Berlin.
Right when Emily needs him most, it leaves her completely alone to deal with this crisis.
You really feel that sense of injustice surrounding Robert. And Emily's determination to clear his name, it's immediate.
It is. And it raises that question, doesn't it? What drives someone to risk so much for a friend? It speaks volumes about her character and loyalty.
So that loyalty takes her somewhere completely different, Vienna.
She travels with her friend Cécile Dulac, who sounds fascinating, an iconoclast.
And Jeremy, her childhood friend, charming, maybe a bit directionless.
That's the impression. And Vienna itself, it's such a deliberate contrast to England. It's vibrant, there are waltzes, cafes, art.
But there's a dark side, too. The source calls it a culture of death lurking beneath the surface.
Emily's focus, though. Her mission is to find the source of that warning letter sent to Fortescue from Vienna. She thinks that's the key to proving Robert's innocence.
But Vienna has its own dangers, its own players.
Absolutely. Mr. Harrison pops up again, still shadowing Emily, threatening her.
The bullets left in her room, on her things. That's chillingly direct.
It is. He makes it clear he can reach her and the people she cares about. His motives are still fuzzy, but he's definitely menacing.
And then she seeks out this anarchist leader, Herr Gustav Schröder.
Yes, who's described as articulate, believing violence is a path to freedom. It sets up this really tense dynamic between Emily, Harrison, and Schröder. She's forced into some risky bluffs.
And things get even more tangled with Countess Christiana von Long showing up again, Colin's ex.
Right. She's supposed to be a key contact in Austria, but her loyalty feels ambiguous. Emily suspects her connection to Schröder isn't just professional.
Which Jeremy later confirms, right. They're having an affair.
They are. And it just makes you think, how does personal history mess with professional loyalty in these high-stakes situations?
It gets incredibly messy, and their paths cross with Empress Elizabeth Sissy.
Cecile's childhood friend. And the Empress is deep in melancholy, obsessed with the Marling incident, her son Rudolph's death.
Which the book suggests wasn't a simple suicide pact.
Exactly. And while trying to comfort Sissy, Emily and Cecile stumble onto something crucial. Harrison might have been involved in Rudolph's death.
Ah, so that could be why Fortescue was blackmailing Harrison. A possible motive.
It lines up, potentially. It connects the Vienna political scene right back to the English murder.
And amidst all this danger and intrigue, Emily still has moments of, well, compassion. Like with the artist, Friedrich Henkler.
Oh yeah, that's a lovely part. He's talented, but struggling, facing prejudice too, being Jewish.
And Emily and Cecile help him get noticed, arranging for him to sketch the Empress.
Which gives him the break he needs, the commissions, so he can marry his love, Anna. It shows Emily's resourcefulness, her humanity, even under pressure.
But the pressure keeps mounting. Harrison's threats become physical. He even assaults Emily.
And he basically spells it out. He'll eliminate anyone in his way, especially Colin.
Yeah. So the connection becomes clear. Harrison's involved in a bigger plot against the Kaiser in Vienna.
Yes, the stakes just keep getting higher, moving from personal danger to potentially huge political consequences.
This is where those small details start clicking into place, isn't it? Like the dueling pistol.
Exactly. Emily finds one at Beaumont Towers, engraved with a griffin, the Beaumont family symbol.
And then she finds its twin in Schröder's home in Vienna.
That detail, the matching pistols in both locations, it's brilliant. It physically links the English past to the Viennese present.
And it unlocks this whole dark history.
The pistols were used years ago in a duel. Robert Brandon versus Joseph Schröder, Gustav's brother.
Joseph was killed.
He was. And Albert Sandburn, who was Mary Fortescue's brother, was Joseph's second in that duel.
Albert Sandburn, who supposedly died of influenza but actually committed suicide.
That's the truth that comes out. He was ruined by the Cleveland Street scandal, a real historical scandal involving powerful men and a male brothel. Deep Victorian hypocrisy there.
So Fortescue knew all of this. About Robert's duel, about Albert's real death.
Yes, and he used it. That was his power. Blackmailing Robert, Hamilton, who knows who else. It shows how reputation was everything and how easily it could be weaponized.
Which leads to the big reveal, the aha moment.
When Emily confronts Mary Fortescue, Albert Sandburn's sister, the former Baroness of Beaumont, before her family was ruined.
And Mary reveals.
She reveals Fortescue was the one who exposed Albert's involvement in the scandal to her father, leading to Albert's ruin and suicide.
So she killed Fortescue.
Yes, with her brother's dueling pistol. Years of grief and vengeance finally boiling over. It completely reframes the murder. It wasn't political intrigue initially, it was deeply personal revenge.
What a tragic confession.
Utterly. And Mary can't face the aftermath. She uses the same pistol to take her own life, leaving a confession.
So the truth is out, but the cost is immense.
Meanwhile, back in Vienna, things are reaching their own climax. Christiana's collusion with Harrison is confirmed. She was trying to manipulate Colin.
And then Colin finally reappears.
With more shocking news, Harrison killed Christiana. And Christiana had actually killed Schröder. It wasn't suicide.
Wait, so Harrison orchestrated both deaths? And the threats against Emily?
It seems so. All part of his larger plot against the Kaiser, which Christiana knew about and tried to use.
But Colin managed to stop Harrison's main plot.
He did. Working behind the scenes, mostly unseen by us or Emily, he prevented whatever widespread violence Harrison was planning. It really highlights how order is sometimes maintained by these quiet, dangerous individual actions.
So after all that chaos and revelation, we get to the aftermath. New beginnings, maybe?
Some, yes. Robert Brandon is released, totally exonerated. Ivy's relief must be huge.
And she's pregnant. That adds a real note of hope.
Definitely. Other threads tie up, too. Friedrich, the artist. His career takes off thanks to the Empress sketches. He gets engaged to Anna.
That's good to hear. and Emily's academic friend, Margaret Seward.
She finds romance with an Oxford Don, Mr. Michaels, and Jeremy the Duke decides to stick around London, maybe finding some purpose.
And a spark with Rena, perhaps.
Seems like it. But the most significant aftermath is Emily and Colin's relationship.
It's been tested, to say the least.
Immensely. Colin finally admits he sees her as a partner in his work now, not just a potential wife. He seems less bothered by what the Queen might think of her. Unconventional methods.
That's a big shift for him.
It is, and their conversation about it is quite profound. They talk about the shift from terror to the numbness that happens when witnessing horrors starts to feel almost ordinary.
Wow. That's a heavy realization.
It is. They accept their life together won't be simple. It'll be these bursts of joy between weeks of unease. They're embracing this dangerous but meaningful path.
So the central mystery is solved, but that human cost, the ongoing tension, it lingers.
Absolutely. The novel really pushes you to think about integrity in these manipulative worlds. Sometimes it means choosing discomfort, even danger.
So wrapping up our deep dive here, we went from this suffocating English country house to the vibrant, dangerous streets of Vienna.
We saw how one murder pulled back the curtain on so many hidden truths, personal and political. Characters fighting for justice, for love, for survival.
Their lives completely shaped by the secrets they kept, the alliances they made.
And what this dive into A Fatal Waltz really shows us, I think, is how even in supposedly ordered societies, personal history and passions can just erupt, explode the facade.
It's a great reminder that history, whether it's grand political history or just personal history, is rarely straightforward. The most interesting stuff is often buried.
Beneath all that polite society and decorum.
Exactly. So as we leave this intricate world, maybe the thought to ponder is about the cost of knowledge, the cost of connection.
Like Emily and Colin face. It's not just external danger, is it? It's that internal struggle with moral gray areas when you're trying to maintain order or find truth.
So the question for you, listening, might be, in a world where kindness can mask manipulation and loyalty might mean constant danger, what kind of life would you choose?
And what price would you personally be willing to pay for uncovering secrets or for protecting someone you love?